7 days. That's all it took to go from the highest high to a hit that could have ended it all. A teenage racer wins his first major dirt event since burying his father. 7 days later, he's climbing out of a mangled race car at Charlotte Motor Speedway. This is not a script. This is real life hitting a kid who's already been through more than most adults will ever face. Brexton Busch, son of NASCAR legend Kyle Busch, was collected in a violent wreck during the Cook Out Summer Shootout at Charlotte Motor Speedway this past Tuesday night. The crash came with just 15 laps remaining. His mother, Samantha Busch, confirmed he walked away banged up but okay, and that Wednesday was being treated as a recovery day, a call the young driver reportedly wasn't thrilled about. Here's the part that makes this hit different. Just 1 week earlier, Brexton had scored his first win since his father's death, a micro A main victory at Port City Raceway in Oklahoma. He marked a moment with an emotional tribute to his dad, saying he missed him more than words could capture. Kyle Busch passed away on May 21st. Pneumonia that escalated into sepsis. He was 40 years old. To understand why this crash landed the way it did, you have to understand what the last 2 months have actually looked like for this family. Kyle Busch wasn't just a NASCAR champion. He was Brexton's crew chief, his driving coach, and by every account, his best friend in the sport. The two of them didn't just share a garage, they shared a dream. Racing wasn't something Kyle pushed onto his son. It was something they built together, lap by lap, for years. Then in the span of a single spring, that partnership was gone. Samantha Busch has been open about the promise she made her husband that she would do everything in her power to keep their children chasing what they love, no matter what that cost her personally. For Brexton, that meant staying in the car, getting back on track, racing through grief instead of away from it. And for one night in Oklahoma, that decision paid off in the most emotional way possible. A first win, a tribute to his father, a sign that maybe, just maybe, things were starting to move forward. Then Charlotte happened. A hard hit, a wrecked car, and a family that's already absorbed one gut punch this year, suddenly holding its breath again, even for a moment. Let's talk about what's actually happening here, because this goes deeper than one bad night on the track. First, the racing reality. Short track racing, especially micro sprint and dirt competition, is brutally unforgiving. 15 laps from the finish is exactly when desperation kicks in. Drivers who know the race is slipping away start taking risks they wouldn't take on lap 5. Contact at that stage of a race is common. It's not necessarily a reflection of Brexton's driving, it's often just the math of short track racing under pressure. Second, the psychological angle, and this is the part that actually matters most. A young driver processing the loss of a parent, especially one who was also his direct racing mentor, is operating with an emotional weight most competitors his age never have to carry. Grief doesn't pause for green flags. Whether that emotional load played any role in this specific incident is impossible to say from the outside, but the broader pattern here is worth watching closely. Third, and this is where it gets complicated, the response. Samantha said her son wanted to get right back on dirt the very next night, and she had to talk him into resting. On one hand, that kind of resilience and hunger is exactly what builds champions. On the other hand, is it smart? Is it sustainable? Grief plus fatigue plus high-risk motorsport is a combination that deserves real scrutiny, even when the intentions behind it are pure. This is the tightrope every racing family in this situation has to walk, honoring a legacy without burning out the kid carrying it. The reaction across the racing community has been a split of two very real emotions. On one side, there's an outpouring of support. Fans who watch Brexton's tribute after Port City are now flooding timelines with encouragement, relief that he walked away from Charlotte in one piece, and admiration for a kid who keeps showing up despite everything stacked against him. On the other side, there's growing concern. Some fans and analysts are quietly asking whether this family and this sport needs to slow down and prioritize emotional recovery over track time, at least for now. That's not criticism of Brexton or Samantha. It's genuine concern from people who've been watching this story unfold in real time. Both reactions are valid, and both prove just how emotionally invested this fan base has become in one teenager's story. So where does this go from here? Two roads. Best case scenario, Brexton takes this crash as a hard reset, not a setback. He leans on his team, gets back in the car with a clear head, and continues building the same momentum that carried him to victory lane in Oklahoma. This becomes a footnote in a career that eventually carries the Busch name back to NASCAR's biggest stages. Worst case scenario, the emotional and physical toll compounds. More high-risk situations, more close calls, and a young driver pushing through grief without enough space to actually process it. If that pattern continues, it's not just a racing concern, it's a well-being concern for a kid who's already lost so much this year. Which path this takes probably depends less on talent and more on how much space this family allows themselves to breathe. So here's the real question. Is Brexton Busch's push to keep racing through grief the most inspiring thing in motorsports right now? Or is it a warning sign nobody wants to say out loud? Drop your take in the comments. I want to know where you stand. And if stories like this hit you the way they hit me, make sure you're subscribed to SportsWire USA because we're not done covering this one.